record on this computer. Okay, welcome. Good morning, everyone, or afternoon or evening, whenever you're going to see this. I'm Avigail Sapir from Zichron Yaakov. Thank you so much for joining us. And we're really excited to continue with week 4 of foundational healing. We're using essential oils, we're using clean eating, we're learning how to create an environment of healing around us, to change our thoughts and our actions, change the way we eat, and maybe even change our activities or the people that we surround ourselves with. Everything starts to change when we start to love ourselves. When we start to work in harmony with nature, and we are one of the main creatures in nature. So it's really fun to learn about our body and how it works. Welcome, Haley. And so we started off with learning where the toxins are coming in. Well, our first week we talked about dilution and safety, so make sure you check out that if you haven't seen it yet. And then we talked in our 10 foundational oils, and then we talked about what are toxins. What is our body's a self-healing machine. Nothing else can force the healing. Only our body can do it. What are toxins? Where do they get in? Where do they go out? And where do they get stored? And so then last week we began with our lungs. Our lungs are, if we just go down the line of the body, that's the first place that we can get absorption. Obviously, absorption can also come through the skin, and it can also come through ingestion. So, but just working our way down, you see air comes in, it's polluted. It gets into our lungs, which gets absorbed. The toxins get absorbed into our lungs and then released into our bloodstream. So today we're going to talk about the bloodstream. And if you missed last week's on lung health, go ahead and grab that. It's very helpful. Here's another slide that just helps us to see where things are going once they get in our body. And for me, I love this kind of a chart. I don't know if it's real helpful for everyone, but I love to imagine how my body's working and what it's doing, what I'm doing to it. So when the 3 ways that we absorb toxins is through the ingestion, inhalation, and dermal. So we're starting with inhalation at the top of the body, and it goes into our lungs, and then it gets absorbed and it goes into the blood and the lymph. But from the lungs, it also goes into our gestational tract. And so that's going to go through some process of waste removal. But at the same time, we're also still absorbing. And then it's going into our lymph system, which is going through up to all of our soft tissues and our bones, which toxins get stored in our bones, remember, to our other organs. It goes to, and it gets stored in fat. Now, this is really important to understand. You see how all the ways that toxins can come into the body can always end up in fat storage. Now, for anybody who wants to lose weight, this is really important to understand because dieting means removing the extra fat from the body so that you get skinny, right? Now, is there a problem with that? Not necessarily. Except that why is the fat there? 1, we eat too much, high caloric food, junk food, non-bioavailable. Okay, fine. Haven't had the best diet. What about those people who are constantly dieting, constantly restricting themselves, and still either they don't lose weight or it immediately comes all back, even if they try to keep a healthy diet afterward? Why is that? Because of toxins. Toxins do not get flushed out of the body with a regular diet. A weight loss diet, some shakes, some protein bars. This might help you to burn that extra fat because you need the energy to survive, but it doesn't eliminate the real reason the fat is there, and that is to store the toxins so that we don't poison ourselves. The blood has to get the toxins out of it so that it doesn't damage us further. Blood carries nutrients to our body everywhere, to all the cells, which then puts it back into waste products. It puts the waste product back into, from the cells back into the blood. So the cell goes into the blood cell, it brings nutrients, and it takes out waste product. Just that picture right here. And then it goes into the detoxification organs, and then finally back out of our system. Blood also regulates our pH level, our water and temperature levels, and the white blood cells in the blood perfectly protect the body against many, many diseases. Now, the problem comes when we have this blood that's traveling around that's full of toxins. It's going to our brain, it's going to every cell in the body, and then it's getting stored in different places so that it doesn't kill us. Blood poisoning can happen more than people realize, and you might not get to this place of being septic and hospitalized, God forbid, but you can get a blood toxicity, a kind of blood poisoning. The toxin builds up. And kidney issues can indicate that. Dirty blood or blood full of toxin buildup. Other signs can be heart palpitations, very low energy, irritability, chills, shivering, and more. So fortunately, our body already has a system ready to take care of this detox, and it's ready to remove the waste from the blood using the liver and the kidneys, and wants to completely flush it out, and so that we can have clean blood with wonderful nutrients and no toxins being sent to the rest of our body. Now, as that blood gets sent around, it also stores the toxins in the muscles. Now, the muscles we're going to get cramping, inflammation, soreness, achiness, muscle fatigue, muscles that just don't work right. They don't hold us up the way they used to. And muscle toxicity from that storage of toxins sent by the blood can feel like pain, tight muscles, but it can actually get really, really bad. And people have experienced anywhere from minor pain to severe paralysis and death. And this is just from can be just from blood poisoning, a toxicity built up in the blood. So there's not a lot that we can really go into with this because it's pretty self-explanatory. What we breathe, what we eat, and what we are putting on our skin is all contributing to the health of our blood. And we know our blood is going everywhere. It affects the whole cardiovascular system. If our blood is healthy or toxic, it affects our brain function. It affects all of the organs and tissues. It affects every single cell in the body. So when we put something on our skin that has chemicals and toxins in it, it absorbs directly into the bloodstream and it goes everywhere. So some people say, well, I won't ingest an essential oil from another company that's not doTERRA, just in case it's not pure, but I'll put it on my skin or I'll put it in the diffuser. Or I'll wear gloves when I use toxic material and a mask so I don't breathe it in. But those particles get through whether we want them to or not, and they get into our bloodstream and they go to every cell in the body. So for us to keep our environment clean and healthy and supportive of our body's natural healing system, we really have to be very aware of our blood. And there's lots of things that we can do to help keep a healthy cardiovascular system. So let's go ahead and just look at that first. How are we going to keep this blood healthy? Because we understand all the terrible things that can happen when we're toxic. So we don't want that to happen. So let's focus on what we do want. We want to have pure blood that sends all the correct nutrients and tools to every cell in the body that is exactly what that cell needs at that time. Perfect timing in a wonderful way. So let's detoxify our blood. We're doing a wonderful health challenge right now, a detox challenge, 2 months challenge. This first month, we are getting the team together and we are talking about what this means to be healthy. What does it mean to have daily healthy habits, weekly goals, monthly goals, and exploring different ways that we can get ourselves more healthy, and including every cell in the body. So we're going to talk about blood in a group today as well, and some things, and I'm going to post these things there. So if you haven't joined, go ahead and join the challenge and see how healthy you can get in 2 months and see where you want to go from after that. It's very exciting. So let's, first thing is to move. We need movement. The blood, if you sit still all day long, not only are you cutting off the blood by sitting on your veins, there's no movement of the body. So we sit, we barely move around. Our arm moves to move the mouse, our other arm to have a drink of water, maybe, hopefully we're drinking enough. We turn our head once in a while, we bend down a lot like that. We cross our legs over and over, which also cuts off blood supply. I mean, basically this is, it's really literally one of the, if not the worst thing we can do to ourselves in our life is to sit all day. So blood needs to move and it needs us to move with it. The blood, the heart pumps it through, but our body does a lot of the movement as well. So exercise is very important. Exercise and movement. There's different ways to move. There's Pilates, there's yoga, there's boot camps, there's gymnastics, there's all sorts of things. Walking is your basic one. Minimum 30 minutes walking a day. That's it. Not less, and you don't need to do more. Okay, and the second thing is hydration, water. Now, this is one of our daily challenges in the detox event that we're doing now, is we're challenging ourselves to drink alkalized, there's another word, alkalized water, alkalized detox water. No, alkalized water that has electrolytes. There we go. You can't actually separate them. Really, if you have alkalized water, then you have ingredients in there that has electrolytes in it. Your fresh fruits and vegetables have all these minerals. If you have some berries that don't have as much sodium, it's okay, because your lemon has sodium in it, you know, so it balances it out with all the minerals. And we're going to talk about how to, some ideas for yummy water. Drinking water is crucial. 3 to 4 liters a day minimum, when you're eating cooked food or processed foods or detoxing. So if we can eliminate a lot of cooked foods and eat 80% raw, 85% raw, and we can eliminate all processed foods, then we only have 2 things that we're looking at. We're compensating for cooked food, which is going to need more water to come in to help flush out the waste. Otherwise, the body can't really break it down. It's too thick. And secondly, for detoxing, when the toxins are released, whatever we're doing is helping, whether it's the way we're thinking, the way we're feeling, what we're putting in our body, the essential oils that we're putting on our skin that get into our bloodstream, all of the supplements that we're taking internally to cleanse ourselves, those toxins are going to get released. Even a massage will do it. Now, what happens if we don't have enough hydration in the body? Well, the blood just has to restore those toxins again. So it is such a waste of energy and effort. So it is really imperative that we drink enough. But the most important thing about drinking is that our water is alkaline and electrolyted, lit up with electrolytes. Electrolytes are, this is what the cell is made up of, that balance of electrolytes, those minerals. So if we're drinking just plain water without the minerals in it from the herbs or fresh fruits that we put into it, what happens is that the cell itself gets dehydrated because it can't take just water. It can't use that. So, and we don't want to be dehydrated on a cellular level. That's very dangerous. So here is another thing that we can do to help detoxify our blood. Castor oil heat pack. This is super easy and very relaxing and comforting. Castor oil is incredibly comforting. And I think that the reason might be because it makes kind of a little massage right under the skin. It works itself, and so it's relaxing. If someone ever gets hit or, like a punch, or they bump themselves, there's going to be a bad bruise, even a black eye, broken nose, just put castor oil on. Now mix that castor oil for anti-inflammation with deep blue oil and copaiba, and you're never going to have a black eye. And even if the color starts, if you get it right away, it'll all go away. It's a really fun science experiment, and it looks like magic. Okay, so for the heat pack though, we can take some castor oil, peppermint oil, juniper, grapefruit, and lemon, and a soft, clean, thick material like flannel, wool, or cotton. Flannels and wool are really, really nice. Cotton also, but sometimes not unless you have like a brushed cotton. It should be nice and fluffy, and it's much more comforting and fun that way. Then you take a glass bowl or jar, heating pad, hot water bottle. I suggest more because just electricity and liquids, I'm not a fan. A plastic bag and a large towel. So then you're going to place the fabric in the bowl and pour enough castor oil in it to soak it without having it so saturated that when you pick it up, it drips down. You don't want that much. It should just soak into the fabric itself, and that's all. And then you add the essential oils, 1 drop at a time, as opposed to pouring the whole bottle in. Yeah. And then we're going to get our hot water bottle ready. And on the flat surface, you put the plastic bag down, you put your towel on top of that, because you don't want to get that castor oil on your clothes or your furniture. It is not easy to get out, if at all. Okay, so you just follow the rest of the instructions here, and you end up with something that is going to purify your blood, help you detoxify. While you're sitting there, have a cup of tea. If that's too warm, drink that lemon alkaline water, that electrolyte filled water, and just relax and let your body do the work. You don't have to do anything. You just get to relax and breathe. Remember last week we talked about, are you really breathing? Are you taking shallow breaths? Are you taking deep breaths? We can get so much air in us. And actually, a fun little goal to help us increase our lung strength is every time we practice our deep breathing in quietness or meditation, try to get in more breath than you could last time. It's the more oxygen we can get into our body, the happier it's going to be. Practice that deep breathing. And this castor oil pack, you do not need to be sick to use this. Use it every day as part of your calm down from the whole day. Detoxify whatever is there and just release and let go and breathe and feel gratefulness for this incredible body that can heal itself, that has the right information, the right nutrition, and the right environment. And that environment includes everything inside and out. We want to create an environment of healing, of comfort. So here are some really fun, beautiful ideas for your alkaline and electrolyte water, which is going to detoxify you, and it's going to be delicious. You can really have a lot of fun with this, and I encourage everyone who is experimenting, when you find the combinations that are just delightful, post them in the group, please, for everyone. I mean, and send your kids to school with jars of water instead of just, and never drink tap water. Please, everyone, please never, ever, ever drink tap water unless you live in a mountain village and your waters come directly from the spring, untouched spring. Otherwise, never drink it. It's full of chemicals and poisons, and it is an easy way for humans to be purposefully poisoned. Now, I'm not saying there's a conspiracy about this. I'm just saying, if you don't know what's in your water, you don't know what's in your water. So as we use nature to nullify the effects of those poisons and those chemicals that do make their way through the plant, the water treating plant, then we're able to actually turn something that was not so great or healthy for us into something that's very healthy for us and good for us. I still do use filtered water, but I almost never drink that plain, exactly plain. I always add at least lemon in, at least a cucumber, at least something, a slice of orange, anything. Okay, and obviously we want to detoxify the whole entire body system, and we don't want to do it in a rush. We don't want to do it heavy. We don't want to put extra strain on our body. Remember, the more toxins we have inside of us, the harder it is to get rid of. It takes longer. Think of the liver like a sponge. Now, when you have a sponge that's full of water, you can easily squeeze it. Like, say you're in water, you squeeze it, it goes out, it fills back up, right? Now, let's say that sponge has been cleaning dishes in the sink, and now you can't even see the normal color of the sponge anymore. This is disgusting, and it's full of gunk and gross garbage. This is our liver. It gets full of all that gunk, gross, toxic garbage, and it can't squeeze out anymore. Okay, so then we have a weakened liver function. So we want to, instead of detoxing really fast so that a ton more toxins come on top of that and get absorbed into that sponge, we want to do it gently. And this beautiful Cleanse and Restore pack does exactly that. It touches every part of the body, cellular regeneration, supporting your body's natural ability to release the toxins with this endocrine, lemon oil for that cleaning and cleansing, your lifelong vitality pack for all your omegas, your brain function, your blood, your cardiovascular, antioxidants, minerals, vitamins, everything that you need for good, clean blood as well. Terrazymes to help break down the food and everything that comes in so the body can absorb or flush whatever it needs to do. The GX Assist to help the colon gently clean out so that it can help to keep flushing things. And the PB Assist to balance the probiotics in the body. So we're very, very grateful for this. We have all started this challenge here this month. We're taking everyone who has the ingredients, or as much as they do have, we're starting with what we can. So next week, we are going to talk about the liver. Now, the liver is a really exciting organ to be able to purify and cleanse. It's actually incredibly simple to do so because it's this sponge, and we're going to talk about why that sponge idea is so easy to understand, makes the liver so easy to understand next week. So thank you so much for joining us, everyone. And I know some of you got on late, and that's okay. We're doing short classes. We're done now, and we're going to post the link in the chat, both chats. And this week was about blood health. And I wasn't able to find it this week, but I'm going to post it separately and add it into this presentation for next time. There's a live blood analysis before using the lifelong vitality pack after the Lifelong Vitality Pack. And it's really fascinating. And you'll see firsthand exactly what kind of a difference it makes in your blood health just using the Lifelong Vitality. So we want healthy blood because it goes to every cell of the body and it affects the function of our brain and our organs and everything. And so we're going to keep focusing on how we can help ourselves to heal and to detox more. And I would love to hear next week how many of you were able to do that castor oil blood detoxification pack. I hope that we can do it even every single day. Castor oil you can buy at a health food store outside of Israel, and in Israel, I believe only the pharmacy. So have a wonderful week to your health, and don't forget that our thoughts is where everything starts. So we're going to think healthy and be healthy. Thank you so much for coming, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you so much, Abigail.